Run23 here. Welcome to the show. Thanks for clicking on this video. Got some exciting stuff for you today. If you are one of the 3,500 new subscribers just in the last couple of weeks, thank you again. Thanks for joining us. And I hope you'll jump in the comments down below. For the most part, everyone's really nice. So let's get into it today. I have 8 pages of notes. We're going to be talking about some ballistic stuff. Some of this is outside of my wheelhouse. I have consulted over a dozen experts on the topic, some self-proclaimed experts, but I have also been active in the forums and on the Facebook groups, and I've read your comments on our videos, mostly when we're talking about this subx bullet from Hornady. Now, I have some gel block testing footage that we're going to go over here in just a little bit. This is from about a week ago when we were testing the arc as well as some other projectiles, some big 8.6 Blackout projectiles. But the first shot on the gel block was a 338 arc, and that came out of our 338 arc build. 11-inch Mostech barrel, 1 in 5 twist. This one has the Dead Air Primal suppressor on it. We do have other suppressors, and a suppressor video is coming very soon. I'm still waiting on a couple of the new suppressors to show up, and we'll do something dedicated to suppressors. But today, we're talking about the subx bullet from Hornady. We're talking about some gel block testing, and just exactly how we think this 338 arc projectile should perform, is performing, things like that. So I like the 338 arc. I like that it's in an AR-15 platform. But for right now, I am still 100% convinced that the 8.6 Blackout is the way to go for me. But I wanted to build a gun just to play with it. Ours cycles just fine. One note from our last video, I accidentally mentioned that it was a 350 Legend magazine that I was running in that. It was actually a 400 Legend magazine. You're going to need to play with some magazines in order to find which ones feed best for you. The 400 Legend fed for me. I did not get to try the Grendel mags the way that I wanted to, but I'm going to try Grendel. I'm going to order in some 400 Legends. This gun runs totally fine. We've got a yellow Sprinco spring. We've got a standard buffer, and we've got just a Grendel bolt carrier group with an adjustable fax and gas block. The claims, first of all, this comes directly from Hornady. I printed this directly off of their website. Reliable subsonic expansion. The subx bullet delivers big results without the bang. Oh, I see what they did there because it's subsonic. Designed to provide deep penetration below the speed of sound. It's a lead core. It's got long grooves, and it's got that flex tip insert, which helps the hollow point cavity kind of expand even at lower velocities. And in general, the wide range of guns available. You can run it in a gas gun or a bolt gun. Most people I've seen are running this as a gas gun caliber, but it's possible that we could build a bolt gun variety down the road. Also here from their website, I have a list of 7 or 8 different offerings in the subx line. 2 of them for 30 cal, 175 grain, and a 190. Most people are probably running those in a 300 Blackout, but it's possible they're just some 308 hunters as well. They do have a 7.62 by 39 that's 255 grain, a 35 cal, which is like a 357, a 452 45 cal, and a 458 45 cal, and those are right around 400 grains. It's important to keep those things in mind as we look at this, because we don't want to impose anything that they're not claiming, and then we also want to kind of check what they're claiming as well and make sure that it is that it's working properly. In our last video, I did state that I wasn't impressed with the performance of the subx bullet. Now that I understand a few more things about the gel block that we used, the ranges that we were at, all of those sorts of things, it seems like it performed okay. And if the end result is hunting, that would have been a dead deer or a dead pig, 100%. It's possible that it would have over-penetrated that, but that's not uncommon either. If you shoot a deer with a 6.5 Creedmoor, it's probably going to punch right through. What we need to be looking at is, in our case, what that twist did, because I shot it through a 1 in 5 twist, and we also need to look at how that bullet opened up. Now, we did not recover the bullet. I'm going to fix that for you. We will recover a bullet so we can look at it more closely. I do have a couple of pictures from some people that did get a recovered bullet, and you can kind of see how those expanded. Gel block testing is a valuable tool to help us understand how bullets perform when they impact, mostly in a self-defense or in a hunting scenario. So we can kind of measure the penetration depth as it travels along an artificially simulated soft tissue. This helps determine if it meets or doesn't meet the FBI standard, which is 12 to 18 inches if you're using a 10% gel. Bullet expansion and deformation. This is one of the big ones for me. I want to see what that bullet is doing. I want to see, in our case, what did the twist do? What is it doing at distance? We were at about 25 yards when I shot this one round of arc. How it expands, what we think that would do for tissue damage. Next is weight retention. How much of the bullet's mass is retained after impact. The wound cavity. You hear people talk about that permanent wound cavity. This shows what the bullet directly does to a simulated tissue. And then that temporary cavity, which is the part that stretches, you've seen in slow-mo when it blows up real big. That temporary cavity versus the permanent cavity, that indicates how much energy is being transferred and its effect on soft tissues and organs. Now, it could also be used to show a barrier performance, or if you're testing if it's going through a barrier. That's not important for us because this is not a barrier round. It doesn't work well for that, at least a subx bullet. So there are some other bullets you could load into this that could do a little bit better, like denim and plywood and auto glass and things like that. Those would be more important for law enforcement and not as important to us as hunters or in a self-defense situation. Gel block testing is not perfect. It does not properly simulate organs, bones, different types of tissue densities. It doesn't do a good job of that. It's the same, all the way through, and that's good for us to see. On the other hand, it's not a direct correlation to what happens when you harvest a pig or a deer. So some of us prize expansion, and we can see that in gel block. Other people, depending on what you're hunting for, they're going to prize penetration. And so we're looking for that mix to find out what this bullet is going to be best for. Bottom line, gel block testing is useful, so let's take it for what it's worth and let's learn what we can from it.
All right.
I'm nervous about this shot.
Why?
Because it's an untested rifle. Ready?
Oh yeah, you can hear it. Well, so you see fragmented a little bit here. There's the tip.
Oh.
It's just a plug. And then you see some fragments along the way right here. And it just dived down and skipped. All in all, pretty good.
I do have a 1-in-8 twist barrel coming to us from Faxon. Should be here in the next couple of weeks. We can throw that on an AR-15 build and do some testing with it to see how that 1-in-8 twist compares to what we have seen here in our 1-in-5 twist. The idea of a faster twist is to help a bullet expand at lower velocities. The subx bullet was chronoing around 1050 to 1060, as low as 1045 or 43, as I recall. So it had a pretty good SD, and it was kind of in that 1050 range. The box is actually marked at 1050. At longer ranges, when velocity falls off, the spin is what can continue to push some of that bullet performance. When we lose the velocity, that's where the twist came in. That's really the idea behind a faster twist barrel in these scenarios for subsonic rounds. We do compromise a small amount of accuracy, but getting more bullet performance is really cool as well. I believe that I said the subx bullet over penetrated. We had 3 blocks of gel. They were 18 inches apiece, and it went through the whole thing. And ultimately, I could not find the projectile as it went out into the field. I think I saw where it hit, but I wasn't able to find the bullet. Now, over penetration can be a bit of a problem, especially if that bullet is not opening up very much. And so for my initial thought was it didn't open very much and it over penetrated. Looking more closely with fresh eyes, it's been a week, going over some of this gel block information, I do believe that the subx bullet expanded well enough to do its job. And I also think that it's within, the selling points of what Hornady is saying. We do need to shoot it at 100 yards. There's no way around it. We need to see what a 100-yard test is. A lot of people aren't going to shoot subsonic bullets much further than that anyway. Taking a look at the drops here, a 200-yard drop is 33.9 inches, and a 300-yard drop is 107 inches. It's going to be difficult to shoot anything past 250. 242 is my record. I got that with... well, I did it with a Grendel and that one scope, but I also did it a couple weeks before that with a 338 Spectre. It was a subsonic. I had my drops dialed. I had some good ammo, some nice expanding bullets, and we did get a pig at 242, which is how far the far feeder is from my deer stand. Now here is a closer look at a Maker bullet. It has those 3 petals that peel back, and with a faster twist, this guy opens up and does a whole lot of damage. This one is actually from a 300 Blackout, and it opened up very nicely and performed exactly as it should have. The subx bullets are not a monolithic copper bullet, so they're going to open up and kind of mushroom a little bit. You can kind of see what that looks like here. So they open up a little bit, not quite to the same frontal diameter that you're going to see from the monolithic copper bullets, but they still do open up quite a bit. There is a lot more testing that is required in order to complete this scenario. I do want to test the supersonics as well. Supersonic 8.6 Blackout is also on my list to test. There's just so much in this. So where do we stand right now, and how am I leaving this for you guys? My gun runs. I have a fair amount of ammo that we can test with, subs and supers. Over the next couple of weeks, I hope to get some gel blocks at 100 yards and see what they do there. There's also some new projectiles. This 300 grain Maker Rex, the new one that we're using at 8.6, would also do really well in the arc. So as brass becomes available, we're going to see some of these companies produce some of the boutique ammo that we're seeing in 8.6 technology come over to the arc. I think that will only help it. I was convinced for about a year that the Spectre was the way to go, and I still very much love the Spectre. I have my Spectre barrel right here. We have quite a bit of ammo for it, and we've got dies and everything to make more. There could be more Spectre content coming down the road, and a new build for that. We'll have to see how that shakes out. I have so many things that need to be done to show you guys and to test for the channel that I don't know when we'll get there. It could be a while, but it's a possibility. I do like the caliber. For those of you who are considering, do I build an 8.6? Do I build a 338 arc? Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to have to kind of choose between, am I a pro fast twist, or am I pro 1 and 8 twist? And I think that's going to be fine. Accuracy promising for the arc. The Spectre accuracy was phenomenal. It was way better than the 8.6 Blackout. And the arc ammo right now looks to be a little bit more accurate than 8.6 as well. But it's not apples to apples comparison by any means. If you have an AR-15 and you were looking to make a little subsonic hunting gun, you really just need a barrel. Figure out what magazines work for you. You can try the Grendels, you can try the 400 Legends, a couple other things. The Grendels I don't think are going to work great, but try them out for yourself and see what you think. You probably already have a Grendel mag anyway. 400 Legend magazines are also pretty easy to get. Everything we talked about today will be in a blog post over on eaglerun23.com. While you're there, sign up for the email list. That's how you get a part of our giveaways and things like that. There's going to be an article that will go over everything that we talked about here. I'll have links to the different ammos and bullets. There's also a build list for my gun. If you want to check out the components that I chose, if you're building one, you need a barrel, and they're coming. I know I got one pretty early, but they're coming. We're seeing some on the market, and then the big manufacturers, the main ones, I think Faxon and Ballistic Advantage and some of those guys, their barrels will be out pretty soon as well, which is going to be cool. I think it's exciting for a 338 ARC. I'm still very much an 8.6 fan, but if you want an AR-15 gun, or you've already got one and you're looking for some subsonic hunting, you need a 338 can. As far as the suppressors go, a lot of really cool options, and there's some new ones coming out as well. We haven't tested the Faxon one yet. The one from Shaw is not out yet. We have an anechoic headed our way. So there's going to be some more cans to test in this genre as well. I already have a pork chop, and then I have this Dead Air Primal. The Primal's a little big, but it's worked for us. It was the only thing I could get like 3 years ago when this thing first started, but now there's some really great options on the table as well. I think that about covers it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, if I got something wrong, let me know down below. I'll reply and get all of your questions answered, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we stand.